I'm Margaret Robertson with the Walker team of Ontario Real Estate, back this week to share the data and the facts as they pertain to real estate at a national and a local level. Let's start with our local market, as we have recently witnessed a dramatic change between the interest of single-family homes versus condo and townhomes in the last couple of months. So let's start there. Our single-family home inventory has stayed consistent with some fluctuations over the past few weeks while pending sales continue to climb. The absorption rate has gone from negative 9.6 to negative 17.1%, meaning that available needed inventory has shrunk an additional 8% over the last few weeks, fueling more and more multiple offer scenarios and appreciation. Condos and townhomes are telling a different story these days, as we have discussed previously. The good news is that pending sales have increased 13%, but the active listings have kept pace with a 13% increase as well. The absorption rate has remained at 68%, meaning that 3 out of every 10 available properties in this classification aren't selling. The good news is that it seems to have currently stabilized in this market and even slightly improved after reaching a low of 60% a few weeks ago. The next few weeks with the election looming should be quite interesting. Stay tuned to have my updates to see how it plays out. Let's switch gears and talk about the overall economic update. Early this year, many economists and market analysts were predicting apocalyptic financial downturn that would potentially rattle the U.S. economy for years to come. They immediately started to compare it to the Great Depression of a century ago. 6 months later, the economy is still trying to stabilize, but it is evident that the country will not face the total devastation projected by some. As we continue to battle the pandemic, forecasts are now being revised upward. The Wall Street Journal just reported the U.S. economy and labor market are recovering from the coronavirus-related downturn more quickly than previously expected. What shape will the recovery take? Economists have historically cast economic recoveries in the form of one of 4 letters, V, U, W, or L. I encourage you to GTS, Google that stuff if you would like more details on the differences. Many experts predict that this would be a dreaded L-shaped recovery like the 2008 recession that followed the housing market collapse. Fortunately, that does not seem to be the case. The same WSJ survey we mentioned asked the economists which letter this recovery will most resemble. Here are the results. If you have been following my updates, you know that I have been discussing the Nike swoosh or V-shaped recovery as I closely followed the top economists. What about the employment numbers? It's difficult to speak positively about a jobs report that shows millions of Americans are still out of work. However, when we compare it to so many forecasts from earlier this year, the numbers are much better than most experts expected. There was talk of depression, like unemployment rate over 20%, while the first report after the 2020 shutdown did show a 14.7 unemployment rate to the surprise of many analysts. The rate has decreased each of the last 3 months and is now in a single-digit 8.4%. Economist Jason Furman, professor at Harvard University at the chair of the Council of Economic Advisors during the previous administration, recently put it into context. An unemployment rate of 8.4% is much lower than most anyone would have thought it a few months ago. The economists surveyed by the WSJ also forecasted unemployment rates going forward. 2020, 6.3%, 2022, 5.2%, and 2023, 4.9%. This table shows how the current employment situation compares to other major disruptions in our economy over time. The bottom line, the economic recovery still has a long way to go. So far, we are doing much better than most, though, would be possible. Remember, months ago, you heard it here first. If you would like advice on how this affects your personal housing goals, reach out to me today.